So back to this. So if that is the sign in heaven, and that points to Revelation 12, so on this date, that must mean Revelation 4 through 11 happens before this date. And that actually tells you that Revelations 12 onward happens after that date. Okay, quite simple. Back to our chart. Now, the problem I always had was, if you read Revelation 12, it tells you about the lady and fiery red dragon. I couldn't find that dragon. Now, one of the descriptions it had was it drew a third of the stars with its tail. Now, if you studied my Mazzaroth video about the astronomy, the Jewish astronomy, you could see that there are certain constellations in the heavens that represent Satan. And one of those is Hydra, the serpent. And Hydra actually is the longest constellation and actually has 4 of the constellations from its head to its tail, meaning it carries a third of the constellations, which is also what Revelation 12 says, right? That Satan, his tail, the dragon's tail, took down a third of the stars. But that's all in the heavens. Please watch my Mazzaroth video and you will understand that clearly. But it says that the dragon's head was right there by the lady to eat the man-child, and I couldn't find the dragon's head. Well, for a long time I couldn't find it. All people's explanations just didn't count. We looked at stars and it just didn't fit in until recently, about a couple of weeks ago. There's a YouTube channel and a website from a man named Dabu77. And he does more New World Order politics type of shows, but he actually found something that was really weird. I'm going to take you to Google Sky. And this is Google Sky. This is Google Sky. Okay? You go to Google Sky right now, you'll see this. Here's a put on Virgo and you could see this. Now this is very similar to what you see in the night sky, minus the lines. And then this is Skyview, the NASA website, in which you could look at the stars at different angles and stuff. So here at this coordinates right here, if you go to Skyview on NASA website and put these coordinates, you would see that NASA has blocked off certain views of the heavens. And on this view, they even blurred it. So what is this and where is this? These coordinates is actually on Virgo's leg. Back to Google Sky, to look and figure out what that is, we have to switch Google Sky to infrared. And there it is. What is that? Why did they block that off? And then why did they block this off? The reason you couldn't see it on regular view is because they're invisible. What does that mean? Are they like see-through invisible? No. They're black, and behind the black of space, you can't see anything. They're not reflecting anything. But if you switch it to infrared, you find out they give off a heat signature. So we're actually looking at the heat of space. And there's something there, and there's something there. These are the only 2 locations that Google Sky actually blocks. What is it? Nobody knows. Okay, you know, we could guess, planet X, Nibiru, but over here, what is this? Well, one day, here's a closer look, they didn't block it off, and Dabu77 was able to pick up this picture. And as you can see, it fits the dragon's head right there at Virgo's leg. This satisfies that prophecy in Revelation 12. I don't know anything about this. I don't know if these are 2 stars rotating around each other with some comets and planets or asteroid belt, or these are 2 planets or 2 black dwarfs. I don't know, but we do know the image is clearly of a dragon's face. I don't know what's causing the teeth. Those are asteroids. Dabu77 says they are coming our way. I don't know which direction they're moving or if it's coming closer. I don't know if in 2017 it's so close we could actually see it in the night sky. I don't know anything about it. I am diligently trying to research it. I sent the pictures off to 5 other YouTube guys that watch end time stuff, and so far I had no answer. but we're trying to determine what that is, okay? But it's clearly the dragon. Ironically, it's right there by her leg, and on 2017 in September, he'll be in position to appear to be swallowing Jupiter, okay? So amazing. That's terrifying. That's terrifying. And Virgo in the sky, if you were to walk out in your backyard at night and look up and see Virgo, Virgo is larger than this. I would say maybe twice the size of this. So then you could imagine how big the dragon's head is. If it was visible, it'd be terrifying right now. So that's above our heads right now. And NASA or Google doesn't want you to know what it is. And there you go. So back to our chart. And that gives us a good time frame right here. So we could say, hey, somewhere about 3.5 years this way or 3.5 years this way, that's probably our window. So that's really how I got a 7-year window from here. Now it's flexible. Just because that image is in the sky on September 23, 2017, doesn't mean Revelation 12 is exactly that date. That could be the sign of that date, meaning it could happen the next month or something like that. But so we just got to be flexible in the way we see the time until we get some solid information. What is the solid information? Temple is built, Antichrist comes there, he proclaims himself God. 2 witnesses in Jerusalem, watching that on CNN or something like that. Until we get some hard things, we could only hypothesize what we're looking at. But we need to be very, very, very prayed up. We're entering a time of when Jesus is returning. These are the last days. It's time to drop World Cup soccer. It's time to drop basketball. Time to drop your beers and your partying, your Halloween parties. It's time to drop buying Christmas presents. It's starting to call yourself out of the world, okay, and into the bride of Christ mentality, remaining holy. We're heading to that time. We're heading to that time. So what happens after 2017? So if you read Revelation 13 onward, okay, this is the rise of the beast. Looking at this, there's a lot of things in the sky that's given us warning, and we really don't know what these things mean yet. There's one thing I want to show you is this one here, Shabbat Nakamu. What is that? It's a certain date in Israel. It's surrounded by 2 blood moons here, 1, 2, okay. Then you got 2 partial solar eclipses. That is a pattern. That tells me God wants us to look here. So what's the center blood moon right here? What's Tu B'Shabbat? That's the New Year of Trees. Israel celebrates a New Year of Trees, but it's not in the Bible, okay? It's something from the Talmud. It's something from the Kabbalah. It's the day, it's their Earth Day in which they planted trees. A lot of trees in Israel is planted on those days. It goes back to Astarte and Easter type of trees and planting eggs and stuff. And so these aren't holidays that God had proclaimed. It's what the rabbis have proclaimed, and they were used for paganism. So maybe this day is something different, and it is. What is Shabbat Nakamu? As you can see here, it's a Sabbath of comforting. It's come from the book of Isaiah and talks about comforting the Jews. Now, that's very interesting because what happens after Revelation 12? It says that the dragon falls to the earth and he chases the woman because she's about to give birth. And the earth swallows her up. So I believe the Jews gets hidden under the earth. One of their underground cities right here. The day of comforting. They get comforted because they're hidden from the dragon. And then the dragon goes after the Gentiles, the Christians. So I think that may be the date for that. Okay, again, hypothesis, just me thinking. That's 2018, and then 1920 and 21, I'm going to roll over. Still, we got to break down a lot of the stuff here. I don't know exactly if these are the 7 bowls. Each blood moon is a bowl that gets thrown to the earth. Don't know yet, but Jesus is going to come down, puts his foot on the Mount of Olives somewhere in 2020, 21, 22. And so far, that's my window. I hope that helps. If you like it or you think you could use it, just email me at chip.walden.cw at gmail.com, and I can send it to you, and then you can play with it and add whatever you want to. Anything to help everyone out there. But that's what I'm looking at. One of the things I also need to tell you about is the Shemitah year. That's the Jubilee of Jubilees, where everything gets released, all your debts. Another good sign that Jesus, the rapture is going to happen within those 2 years. It's actually 1 year. I put 2 there because there's some debate within the Jewish circles. When is the Shemitah year? Is it in 2014 or 2015? So I put both of them there. Both of which would fall perfect right there for the rapture. Also, financial collapse. We have a 7-year pattern that we have to be wary of. In 2001, when 9/11 happened in America, 7 days later they opened up the stock market and it had the biggest crash, almost 700 points. And then 7 years later, in 2008, in September 2, they had a crash, the housing market crash, and that went down 777 points that year. So 7 years from that date, you're going to have 2015 September. So if that is seal, is it possible that seals 1, 2, 3, 4, the 4 horsemen all get released the same day because of a major world war, and then rapture happens? Quite possibility. So just keep our eyes open and let's see what happens. And as I update this, I'll send out a new video. I hope this was helpful. Again, if you don't understand anything, parts of it, watch my other videos. Like, for example, why the rapture would be on the Feast of Trumpets, or why we look at the stars to find signs of the end times. It's all there. And God bless you. Again, my name is Chip Walden, and God bless you all. Thank you.